You've got your crystals, you've got your army diet, you've got your silent meditation retreat, please be quiet. You've got your oil pulling bullet journal juicing cacao. Come sit and talk about it, nothing is a sacred cow. Tell us all about the whoa that you do.
Hey, I'm Mary Lynn Rajskub.
And I'm Jeffrey J.
And this is our podcast. Hold my
What?
I want to make you hold my hand.
Oh.
This is our podcast called That Woo You Do. That woo that you do is anything that makes you feel better. Have you ever written yourself a check for $1 million?
Yes.
Have you ever not stepped on cracks in the sidewalk because you thought you'd break your mother's back?
Constantly.
Have you ever carried a crystal in your pocket to
Almost
give yourself
every
good
day.
vibes? This is a podcast where we talk about things that you do that make yourself feel better, or maybe to achieve your goals. The things that you don't want to admit because they're stupid, but we also believe them. We like to ride that line in between.
I love that promo, and I felt like it was like an opening prayer, but then it tricked you into it was actually just a promo and not a prayer. It felt like we were going to gather. And
Is it all those?
It's all of it. It's all of it.
Welcome back. It's been a while since we talked about that woo.
Yeah, it has been. In fact, so we had this show.
Have you written yourself a check for $1 million?
No, I wrote myself a check for $100,000. I didn't know that this was funny until I had said it out loud. Let me say this. We originally recorded this podcast, and those episodes never got to air, and now we've changed to a new system.
Nobody needs to know that.
Why? Why?
Because this is the first time I've ever done it.
I thought it was an honor.
I'm a podcast virgin. I'm new to show business.
Who, me?
I've been to the picket line to try to make connections. That's not true. I've not been to the picket line at all. I've already done the cardinal sin. I've made this... I've time-stamped this podcast.
That's okay. That's okay, because this one is coming out. The other one didn't get to come out, but now this is our revamp. So I've told this story on that one, but now for the first time, I did not write myself a check for $1 million because I thought, well, that's too high hopes for my imagination. So I wrote it for $100,000. I still have that check. It's in my drawer right now.
And you're like, and I still haven't made $100,000 in my life.
Well, when you get it, what are you going to do?
I pull out my SAG residual checks. Set for life? I don't think so.
It's not like you're actually going to cash that check. When you're like, oh, I made $1 million. You're just going to cash it now? That's weird.
Cash your own check that you wrote yourself?
Yeah.
With your own money?
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, and then I just put it right back into the bank account that had that money in it.
I don't know math, but that doesn't seem right. Do you think I can manifest curling my hair without a mirror?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And today's episode is
with this
manifesting. Dildo. Hold on. Let's take a second. This is Mary Lynn's real curler that she uses every day. I was introduced to this when we were on the road, and she brought it out, and I thought it was a joke.
I'm manifesting curls in my hair right now.
You just bought an item.
The theme for today is manifesting.
It is.
Because that woo you do, this podcast is about, that means it's done. The fries are done.
Every time it goes around the end of it, I think your hair is just going to get caught and destroyed.
I know. It's exciting, isn't it?
It is. It is so exciting. It doesn't make any sense that this thing works. It's a fire hazard. It looks cheap. It looks like you bought it off the TikTok store.
How dare you?
That beep.
I should bedazzle it so you don't call my stuff cheap anymore.
Oh my God. Look at the beautiful ringlets that it's genuinely making. Do they even make this anymore?
One time, I'm having a flashback. One time I went to a job where, because I do a lot of freelance gigs, people are like, "What? You work so much?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's because every job I do is $2,000." It's all the cat's out of the bag, guys. Sick and tired of pretending to be a rich bitch. I mean, I am.
You are.
I'm just referring to the SAG. I'm rich on the inside and out.
What?
But so the podcast theme of the day is manifesting, and the idea behind that Woo You Do, which we've already said, is that we believe in it and don't believe it at the same time.
Yeah, we're classic flip-floppers. I love flip-flopping on my values. I love when somebody tells me a conspiracy theory, choosing in that moment to fully believe it, and then immediate being like, it's probably not true.
So if you're like us, come aboard. But if you want to come in here for like a real, earnest manifesting session, I think that's clear that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not. And also, like, if you want to correct us, sure, but we don't care. We don't care. We love my favorite thing to do is to read a headline and believe that until someone tells me the opposite of that. I love it. I also firmly believe in manifesting, but I don't know if it's magical or if it's just that I've said something so many times that I believe it.
You mean that old headline, like we landed on the moon?
Yeah.
Who believes that?
Yeah.
Or that COVID's a real thing?
Yeah.
Dumb.
And the minute somebody says...
Why are they trying to... Freedom of speech, man.
Yeah.
There's no COVID.
Your hair looks amazing. Oh my God. Look what that just happened.
Can we get the fan in here, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have a crystal in your pocket right now?
Hold on a second. Isn't that insanely gorgeous? And like, can you believe that just happened from that rinky-dink like item? We need to figure out what that is and get them to sponsor you.
Is there something else I can help with?
No, Siri, you can't help us with anything.
What's happening? It's like, stop, man.
We
Stop
don't...
trying to turn me into AI. I'm a human. I'm made of flesh and blood. I watch.
Okay.
I took it off. I immediately panicked. I'm like, what if I get some steps in while I'm sitting? What if I get some steps in during this podcast and I can't count them because I took my iWatch off? Yeah, I have an iWatch. Okay, I am rich. I'm just mad because I make no residuals when they play 24 in Africa.
Oh my God.
Can I manifest a deal
with African Netflix? Yeah, that's amazing. So we both believe, we're both so good about being like, hey, this thing, we really like it. And then also we'll completely flip on it the minute we don't want to believe it anymore. And I think it's the healthiest way to think about life. I just do.
Go on. To flip on it? Do you have a crystal in your pocket today?
No, I left them at home because I was afraid they were going to clink on the podcast.
Did you do a prayer to your rocks today?
Yeah, I did. I sure
See?
did. I sure did.
He
this
does
morning,
it.
I have one that is, I actually have one for this podcast right now that's like a big piece of paper that's hanging that says,
You're doing that work.
It's amazing.
For their podcast.
Yeah,
hope
I do it
works.
for both of us.
We met each other. We're both stand-up comedians.
Mm-hmm.
We've toured.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken you to Florida.
Mm-hmm. You did. You took me to Florida. And then we go to crystal shops together and we drink lavender lattes. And we both believe in, like, if you believe in something, I think that it can happen if you work hard enough. Now, is that because you manifested, or is it because you just did work really hard?
Right. I think you're going in the direction, because as I was coming here to do this podcast, I completely turned against the idea of manifesting because, like, ew. You know what I mean? Like, don't you, when you hear somebody talking about it, it's just like, stop saying that you're manifesting.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh, as soon as someone says, I'm manifesting that, I'm like, ugh. But then me at home, I'm like, oh, I'm manifesting everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I manifested this, making
because
it happen.
Why wouldn't you want to get what you want? But then it's also gross. It speaks to our culture of, like, I want to get what I want. Like,
Yeah.
I'm manifesting a new car.
Yeah. And it thinks, oh, that's magical. But
It's like, why don't you manifest a good healthcare system? You know? Like, why are we all just like, I'm on my journey and I'm going to get what I want? Like, we're
Listen.
fucked as a society. And you're over there going, like, you know,
yeah.
hey, I'm going to get a new job.
Yeah.
It's like, no, the earth is going to crack down the middle and the two halves are going to go hurtling off into space. No one's talking about that yet. Look at it. Look for it. It's on the dark web. Remember how I manifested love and then I forgot about the part where they're not mentally ill. Like I manifested their romance, the love part. The universe is tricky. Rob, I haven't told you about this. It was such a whirlwind of love, and I didn't know that I could have feelings like that. And I was like so into him. And then I realized on the 3rd and 4th month, I was like, oh, I forgot to ask for sanity.
Yeah, you did.
And consistency, and don't turn on me, and don't switch your ideas mid-sentence.
And don't maybe be a white supremacist.
Well, yeah, that too.
And that's a...
Don't do that.
Yeah, you
And
gotta
if you
be
do,
specific.
tell me right away, you know?
Yes. And you have to be very specific in your manifesting. You left out a lot of like the...
Be
don't
a decent
prejudiced.
person.
Yeah.
Don't be prejudiced.
Yeah. You'll be more specific with your manifesting.
But the
next
deeper
time.
question is, why was I attracted to that? Sometimes I see a sparkle of anger in someone's eyes, and I'm like, I like a challenge, you know? Or you go, what's that mystery about?
It's hate.
Like, it's like, don't hit me, but maybe punch a wall.
Oh, hot.
Is it?
Yeah. No, guys, we're not...
We're not in support of that.
It's not okay. But it might be hot sometimes. I mean...
How did we get to that from manifesting?
We're trying to
like
manifest
but
good things is what it is.
You know, there was a study done that says the people who manifest are get what they want and are happier and are better people, are morally correct. I read that.
I think that's fascinating.
I've just made that up.
No! No!
You're not a good person.
You shouldn't have told me that because I would have
Sorry, I
believed
would
it
have let
for
you
the rest
I
of
let
my
you
life.
Go with that.
Okay, well, I'm choosing to believe it. That's what I'm doing right now.
I think you might be more of an asshole if you're
I
a
choose-
manifester.
No, I don't think so. If you do it the right way, because all of my manifesting has like goodness built into it. So I'll put like, for instance, to be vulnerable, I'll be like, I have a large house that is filled with light so that creative humans can constantly stop by. Or I love writing for television
God damn it,
because I make the world a better place.
I'm going to cry. I'm going to recurl my hair to cover up the vulnerability I feel right now.
And I think that might make me a better person. It also might make me delusional, though, because I noticed recently that I was reading my journal and I manifest so much in my journal. Like at a time I was living in like this terrible room because I just moved to LA.
The terrible room is just... it's not even that descriptive, but somehow it's magical. The terrible room.
Yeah.
Sounds like a storybook. Like you're going to open it and dust comes out and sparkles come up and we just get drawn into the terrible room. Don't open the book.
Yes. Oh, it was so bad. I lived with this terrible couple that, so I had a room and then they had the place and I was not allowed to use the kitchen, but I was like, it's an LA thing. This is normal. And then, okay, this is how delusional I was when I moved here. This was like 12 years ago.
That's
or
where
so.
the delusion comes in because you've done this about regular things. Just sidebar. He will positive something to the point where something shitty is actually good, which is a great quality, but also not so great when you don't have a kitchen in the place where you live.
No.
You're boiling like toilet water.
I know.
Like cooking hot dogs.
Yeah. I
Over
would
the
like
toilet.
sneak into the kitchen and then like boil the water and then sneak it back to my room. You were like so not far off. And then I was
Did you
like,
have a hot plate?
I did have a hot plate. And then
Did you manifest that hot plate?
yeah, that one I got at a garage sale.
Wow.
I manifested the
A
garage
bargain
sale.
hot plate.
Not only that, here's the most insane thing. I wanted to have guests. I wanted to be like, this room is so great that I can have other comics come and stay with me. And I was like, what's the way I can do this? So by the way,
In your room with you?
I bought a bunk bed. I bought a bunk bed. I was like,
I gotta go. I actually have to
28.
leave now. Cut. I quit. You bought a bunk bed as an adult person?
Yeah, I was like 28. And so for those of you who are watching this podcast, you can see what I look like. And I saw on Craigslist that there was a bunk bed at this garage sale and I went there.
Angry at you right now.
Oh, this couple got angry at me too because I went to this and it was a bunk bed. And I said, "Oh, you have the bunk bed for sale?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "How much do you want for it?" He said, "Well, you really need it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, $50. And I was like, "Thank you so much." He said, how old are your kids?" And I said, "It's for me." And he goes, "Oh, cool." I said, "Why are you getting rid of it?" And he said, "My 8-year-old twins outgrew it." There were Frozen stickers on it and Disney stickers. So then, as I'm buying this bunk bed, I go and get a truck from
And you're
Home
like,
Depot.
well, most people sleep in the fetal position, right?
Well,
Most adults.
I fit in it perfectly. I'm
bet you
5'2",
did.
and it was great for me. And as we're loading it up, the wife's trying to give me all of these little girl items like lamps and things. And finally, he turns to her and he goes, "Honey, the bed is for him." She goes, "Well, I didn't know." And she storms off. And then I was like, "You should." And he goes, "Yeah, I'll be back." And I just silently loaded the thing up by myself as this couple I destroyed a marriage. In the garage, they're just screaming at each other.
I like that you have the power to destroy marriages. You're like, I saved a bunk bed, but I destroyed a marriage. And did you ever use the bunk bed?
Oh, so many comics stayed in that bunk bed.
No.
So many
For real?
comics
Is that
stayed in
true?
Yeah, when you move into LA and everybody's trying to make it, and you're like, "Hey, you can stay in this bunk bed for $100."
Look, I'm sorry I was about to quit the podcast over this.
And a lot of those
That
comics
really
are
worked.
still here because they had a cheap place to stay with me, and our place smelled like whatever the hot plate was cooking in that room.
Hey, a home grows where the love,
Yeah,
yes, it hurts.
that's our first T-shirt.
The roots of a home are steeped in love and bunk beds.
Yeah,
Growing love requires a bag of boiling toilet water with a hot dog in it
and
that you can take to your bunk bed with you.
Oh my God. And here's where it goes back to the manifesting. So I go back and I read my journals from that time period. And every one of my journals, because I'm manifesting and not writing what's going on, are I love my house that I own in Los Angeles. And it looks like I am a person who has lost their mind. At any point in my life, everything in my journal is make-believe for the future.
Yeah.
And none of it's real. I could probably be homeless and I'll be like, "Yeah, I love my mansion. It's so filled with light." And it's like, because there's no roof on your cardboard, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Well, how do you find the center between the delusion and the depression?
Here's the question. Do I need to? Because now I do love my place that is filled with light. I am a touring comedian and a TV writer. So did I manifest a bunch of things that I imaginarily wrote in that journal?
And remember what you did for me the other morning? I woke up at 7:30 in the morning. I had a message from you. That was my fake assistant. And you're like, "Hey, Mary Lynn, it's Stephanie. All your shows are sold out. And actually the merch is pre-sold. And so the new merch is trying to get to you, but it's lost on a plane, and I hope it gets there. Your posts are down a little. They're just getting 1.1 million views right now. So
I went really hard on that voice memo. So this is a thing that I do occasionally is I will call people as their, if I'm trying to manifest something for them, I'll just call and be their fake assistant so that they can get in
so
the
good.
mindset.
I love Stephanie, except for I immediately started abusing her.
You really did. You were a shitty
Yeah, you're
boss
like, "I'm
to
sorry
this
I didn't get your
imaginary-
lavender latte today." I was like, "Stephanie, what the fuck, man? Where's the merch and where's my latte?
I know.
And don't call me before 7 or after 7.
That was so funny. I was
Text before you call."
"Oh, she's a shitty imaginary boss."
That's the truth of me. Just get everything I want, and I'm shitty about it.
Yeah, which I think is really powerful too. And because I also think that being realistic in your manifesting is important. Before I got the job working for Riverdale, I used to drive around and I knew that Warner Brothers was in Burbank, and I used to drive and go, oh, I hate waking up every morning and going to the writer's room. I wish we weren't in the writer's room. And then eventually I was actually driving to the writer's room every day in Burbank, and I remember thinking like, oh my God, I'm truly bitching, and I used to imaginary bitch about this commute that I wanted to have.
Oh, so you're talking about even when you're saying it in a negative way, it becomes true.
It's true. And also I think it's more realistic because everything's not flowers and dandelions.
I hate
and
when they
bunk
have to
beds.
pack in the 1,500 people into my 1,000
Yeah.
person theater
Yeah.
for my show.
You can't tell where your stalker is in that full theater.
Yeah.
You're several stalkers. Your
I
life
hate
is a
when my
nightmare.
stylist is late getting there, you know?
Yeah.
I hate when my stylist is like, they only had these shoes in a 7.5. Can you fit your foot into
Which
it?
Yeezys do you want to wear? Make the decision for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta
wearing
get.
Yeezys.
Yeah, you're always wearing Yeezys.
I am in my, I do my workout thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that when you were talking about manifesting your writer's room. And she's so great. It's like a bunch of female comedians. It was on my Instagram, and I saw everybody taking her classes. So her name's Stacia, and she recruited a bunch of female comedians, and she started during COVID. Anyway, she has a whole program now. And I saw people working out, and I was like, oh, I'm going to try that workout. And I signed up for it, and it's like, you have to drink water, you have to do 10,000 steps a day, and you're weighing your food, which I never did before.
Okay,
and
finally.
you're accountable to people.
Okay.
I just thought it was a workout. So now I'm doing all that stuff.
Great.
But
It took the third one, by the way, before it became something like maybe unreasonable. You're like, you have to drink water, you have to walk 10,000 steps.
You have to eat healthy. It is bullshit.
You have to wake up by noon.
No, my point being that I didn't know it was going to be, I just thought it was like a workout. And then the next thing you know, I had committed to a really serious plan. It turns out when you weigh your food, it's like, oh shit. And like everything has fat and sugar in it, which we know, but they make you write, you have to get an app where you write down everything you eat every day. I mean, it's a little bit.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Tracking all of your food, because anytime you even go slightly outside the norm, it's a hassle to then track it.
No, I'll eat like a protein bar as a treat. That's not true. I do go off it, but that has fat in it. You will go over your fat content. Anyway, so
No, this is riveting.
I know it's so dumb.
No,
but
it's great. Also, I do love it. And another funny thing that's like I love when I'm out with you, because I don't drink, and she'll be like, I'm going to have a wild night tonight. And she'll be like, hey, can I get a shot of tequila, but only give me 1 ounce? I've heard her ask for a half a shot of tequila and pay the whole amount.
Yeah.
You just ask for less.
yeah, and then I'll sip it, and
And she'll be,
shit
I'm
gets crazy.
crazy.
The mom shot.
It's a mom shot,
It's such a mom shot.
and then I regret it all night long. What have I done?
She'll go, I shouldn't have had that shot of tequila. I was like, it was a half
And then
a
I
shot.
go and like cross the street when the light's still red.
Yeah.
You know, watch out, world. But during her workouts, they're very consistent. I was telling you the other day because we were actually talking about habits, which is part of manifesting.
Yeah.
Like, are we on topic at all? But during her workouts, it's the same structure every time. And her whole thing is like, and I think that goes with manifesting too, that you're not doing something insane. You're doing like the next reasonable step that you can actually imagine.
Yeah.
But anyway, during her workout, in between each set, you have to do say mantras. And her personality is hilarious because like during the workout, she's like, put your pussy in the air. Like, like stick your tits out. And like, she's funny and she's like, fucking do it. And like, she's like fighting and giving tough love and like making you laugh during the workout. She's like, you don't like this? My voice is annoying? Good, you know? But then in between each set, she'll go, okay, now we say our mantras. The universe is working. I love my body. I love my body. She's like, why are you going to be mad at if your body, if you have more weight than you want, don't curse your weight. Go, thank you. Thank you. You've served me. I no longer need your services. She's like, it doesn't help you to be, she's like, catch yourself and what you say to yourself. And she said, I want to see you doing it like you're a fit model. I want to see you do it like the person you want to have sex with is watching you. Like, don't go like, oh, I can't do it. Stop what you're thinking and go, you know what? I just did this exercise. She's like, you don't have to like it, but just adjust your thinking. And it's very interesting because she does it like with an attitude. And the first few times I did that workout, and I was like, I love my body. And I just started crying, and I was like, oh no. Like, I didn't know that I had some issues up in there.
Hold on. Is it easy? How does it come out now? Is it just like, does it come out now?
It's better. I mean, other things will catch me sometimes, but then you start kind of working with the voice that's in your head and how you talk to yourself and shifting that. And like she'll be like, miracles are happening. And there's certain days where you're like, okay, like miracles are happening.
As you're sweating and like hungry and up too early
like,
and thinking about your to-do list.
But it's a good training, and you do kind of catch yourself doing that throughout the day. And she's like, what? Yeah, it feels dumb, but why not just do it? Like, why do you want to do the opposite? Why are you holding on to not doing it?
Oh, I love that so much. And I watch her stuff, and I call God, what's it called? It's called
School of Thought.
School of Thought, THOT, which is amazing. And I want to be like the first dude to do School of Thought so bad.
Yeah, you got to get in there.
I know. I keep thinking about it, but not doing it because she scares me. Because she is intense. But then when I hear this, like, body love thing.
Yeah.
Oh, what a joy.
She's in Greece now because she manifested a husband.
I saw
in
that.
Greece.
I saw that. She manifested her husband.
Manifested a white supremacist. Why? Why will I ever find love?
Did you believe in miracles enough?
I thought I could turn him. No, I thought at the beginning, I thought, oh, well, you have some different political beliefs. Wouldn't that be great if we were just kind people and we loved each other and we had radically different political beliefs? And that's cool. But it turns out me being open to people like that, there's a certain amount of conspiracy where I'm like, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. That just leads down the road of, oh, you're scared of everything and you're paranoid and there's no gray area and there's no discussing anything with you. So that's a lose-lose situation because you're just getting into a mindset where you can't trust anyone and you're outside of the world, which a certain amount of that I get and I like to fall in love with. But at the end of the day, it's like, come on, though. Like, really? You got to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah. I was probably not good for that relationship because I am so positive. I really, like, he would have some red flags and I'd be like, that's just a quirk. It's just a quirk. Like, he's great.
Yeah, you were there at the beginning. I'm like, oh, he has canned goods in his closet. That's cool.
And I was like, neat. I bet he has a bunker. I would love to see his bunker. I'm
like, take me to your bunker. Fuck me in your bunker.
Yeah. And I was like, please do that so I can hear all about it. And every time he would come back with a red flag, I'd be like, that's just fun. I genuinely, when it comes to like really bad stuff, maybe I'm not the one to come to. Because I try to positive so much, and I positived way too long with him.
So did I. I just thought a lot of it was okay until it wasn't.
Yeah, until enough red flags, and then we're like, oh, he's problematic. And that's not a quirk.
Yeah. Like your unwokeness is a cry for help.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. It's hard out there in the world, you know?
It is, but you can manifest well. And if there's kindness behind it, I really think that is a big part of it, is if you just have kindness.
Hey, we had a caller in. No, we don't have a caller. We had a caller in. Yes, go ahead, caller. The caller's in my ear right now. Alyssa W. says that she manifested a senior cat, to adopt a senior cat.
Why?
I I don't know. The cat came to her, and then she realized after the fact that she was manifesting it.
She did.
Yeah, because the cat gave her love that she didn't know she wanted. So I think that proves that manifesting works.
That's a great way to do that, is to have something already happen and then say you manifested it. That's like 100% positive results.
Hey, but do like and follow us. And call in and tell us for real what you've manifested.
Yeah, here's an example. What my mother, she took a class with me during COVID, and she was everyone was saying like, what are they trying to manifest? And my mom, who by the way is a judge, she came from like nothing. She created her own law firm. She had no money, and now she's
a
judge.
badass. Do you think she's ever said the word manifest?
So much. Here's what she said. She goes, they said, what are you trying to manifest? She said, honestly, and she's in her 60s, and she's going, honestly, I just want to remember to listen more because I've already manifested everything I want. And I was like, boss bitch, already manifested everything you want? You had a transgendered son. Was that on that list?
That was one of those after the facts.
That was one of those after the facts.
We're done. Speaking, boss bitch, we're done.
Yeah.
I'm Mary Lynn Rajskub. This is Jeffrey J. Please and thank you for coming to our podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.